Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Live and Level Gamers podcast, episode 141, revisions, leaks, indies. So sweet. Anyway, I got my boy up in here. Look like it's going to be me and him. What's up, D2K?
The sky. Clouds and airplanes, birds, insects.
Right.
Chemtrails.
Yeah, that's definitely up there. Man, we gonna give a little bit more time for some of these viewers to jump on. We run a little late. Had to run out and get my wife's phone updated because her phone went kaput. She had that LG and she got that where it goes into that continual boot loop and wouldn't boot up. So it went out yesterday, so before it got too late, we went to do that today when she got off work, and it just took way longer than I thought. And I ended up getting a new phone too. So,
did they trick you into doing that, or were you just planning to get a new phone anyway?
Well, I went in to get my wife a new phone, and they had to buy one get one free. So
yeah.
So I went on to get, and my son wanted a phone, so I gave him my old phone.
Okay.
So I kind of knocked out a few birds with one stone, put it like that.
Okay. As long as it didn't cost you extra,
It cost me extra, D2. I ain't get out. They ain't gonna let your boy up out of there without paying some money. I just got to get used to this. I don't know how to work it yet.
What kind of phone is it?
It's I got a Note. I got the 8, the Note 8, and I ain't figured it out yet.
Yeah. A lot of these phones are so unnecessarily complex. It's basically a small tablet, I mean, you can pretty much do everything you can on a phone you can with a tablet. It's just smaller. And I just all I need the phone to do is ring when somebody calls. That's all I need.
Right.
All I need.
Oh, there it is. I'm trying to go to YouTube so I can get to the podcast and see who all in the comment section. Live chat.
I can't load up because whenever I do, it starts to lag on my end for some reason.
I feel you. Right now we got Rain Tribe, we got Cornelius in the live chat. Who else up in here? I'm gonna give a little bit more time before we get to going. Let some more folks get up in here, and then we can start getting to these topics. Let us know how y'all feeling down there in the live chat. That's gonna be me and D2K. If you in here and you ain't, let us know you in here. Let us know you in here. Oh, Brett, my boy up in here. What you doing up in here, Brett? This is one of my partners, man, my rapping partners right there.
Okay.
Human up in the building. Okay. Active Sin is up in this piece. What's up, Active? Who else up in here? Let me know, man. Start roll call up in this joint. Who else in here? Give another minute or two and they're gonna get started, man. I just, So
while we waiting, let me just throw a little non-gaming talk right quick.
Okay.
What you think the Cavs gonna do in the playoffs? Seriously.
Rowdy Rough Kong, is that how you say that? What's up, you in there? Okay. Hey, yo. What do I think they're going to do in the playoffs? D2K, I'm nervous, man. Let me go ahead and be honest with you. What they did last night to the Raptors was impressive, even though the Raptors did come off of their third game in the last 4 nights. So they had an edge, but at the same time, Cavaliers was missing 5 of their rotation players. Like they didn't have Hood, they didn't have Thompson, they didn't have Nance, they didn't have Kyle Korver and somebody else. So it was 5 rotation players that was out. So Uh, I'm hopeful. I'm not as worried about the East. I'm gonna be honest. I think they can make it to through the East. But I don't know if they got. I don't know how they gonna stack up against the Warriors are Houston. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm nervous, but with seeing Love back, that's giving me hope. Hood is nice. Hill can be better. Nance is nice. He can score and rebound. And of course, you got Thompson. He kind of got bit by the Kardashian bug, so
oh boy,
we're gonna get from him. But anyway, what made you ask me that?
No, I just wanted to kill time because I mean, because it seems like that they kind of smooth. It's I've noticed that when you have a team where everybody knows their role, things move a lot smoother. And that's one of the reasons why Golden State is such a juggernaut, because everybody is comfortable with their role.
Right,
what they're supposed to do, and they do it. You got a team like the Cavaliers were before all the trades happened. They had so much talent on that team, but nobody wanted to accept the role. Everybody wanted to be LeBron, and you can't.
You ain't LeBron, man.
And the thing that makes me mad is, for me being a Bucks fan, I watched the same thing happen with the Bucks. Is that the Bucks have a whole lot of talent, but everybody wants to be Giannis, and there's going to be one Giannis.
Right.
So they're going to have to blow their team up in the off season, going into a new arena and all that type of stuff. I mean, fired the coach and everything. So, it's a mess, and they're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to probably get the brooms out. Somebody going to get the brooms out on them. Probably going to be Toronto in the first round,
Active Sin. Oh, yeah, I'm with you. Let me throw this at you. Active Sin said they not having a podcast tonight. He interested in jumping on. What you think? Let me send him an invite.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna have all our pieces tonight. Some things hit Keith before we got on that kind of prevented him from getting on, and K-Bum had some errands to run. So yeah, man, I'm finna shoot you an invite, Active. So but anyway, so let's go ahead and get it started, man. I think we got enough people in here. Man, my boy Brett is up in here listening to old Levelhead, man. He know me by other names, but I'm
names plural.
Yeah, he knows by other
aliases.
Mr. Hillman is in the building. But anyway, if you in there, you ain't let me know you in here. Let me know down in the comment section, man. If I ain't said your name yet, go ahead and hold it down right here, quick. D2, my phone is ringing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not good at holding things down, so I don't know what to talk about until he comes back. I guess I'll just say that if you're in the comments section, please keep letting us know that you're in there, so we can give you a shout out on the broadcast, or the podcast rather. I will say that I did actually get a chance to watch the INDIES show or trailer or direct, whatever they call them, and I guess we're going to talk about it on the show, but there was a couple of games that I saw that looked pretty interesting, like the Mark of the Ninja game looked pretty cool, because I'm a ninja fan. I like anything that has ninjas in it, so that automatically sparked my interest. But they didn't show enough of that, so that kind of made me upset. But the Fantasy Strike game looked pretty cool. The Just Shapes and Beats game looked pretty cool. The Lightfall game looked pretty cool. Other than that, it was it was okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't really see anything else that really interested me personally. But those 4 games I thought stood out.
Okay. I'm trying to see if I got him in here. Let me know, Alex, if you got that invite, man. They probably like they on some new tonight. But anyway, let's get into this. What you been gaming on, D2K, if you don't mind me asking?
I actually went back and played Halo 5 Guardians, played the campaign, because the first time I did it, I played it with a friend and we stayed up and beat it when it first came out. And it happened so fast I didn't really remember what was going on. I just remember I didn't like what happened in the ending. So this time I went back and started off from scratch and just beat the whole thing from beginning to end. This game is not actually as bad as I thought it was. I mean, I still don't like what they did storyline wise, but as far as the game itself, this game is probably one of the best looking games on the Xbox One. And I have a regular Xbox One, and this game looks really, really, really good.
What game is it again?
This was the Halo 5 Guardians.
Oh, yeah, that game looked real good. Just didn't play good. That's all. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was just, a lot of it just, there's a lot of things that I liked about it. There's a lot of things I didn't like, but, overall, it was just, I thought this game was a lot better. Sometimes you just need a second look at things, and, you have, like, your desires kind of overpower what you're actually seeing, because you want certain things to happen. They're not happening, and you get salty about it, and you just don't give anything a chance after that. So, but playing it again, I still don't like what they did storyline wise, or the setup as far as going back and forth like you did with Halo 2, which nobody liked. They did it again for some stupid reason. But the game was beautiful. The graphics were beautiful. The gameplay was tight and smooth. So, I still think they probably need to call it quits for Halo for like maybe at least 5 years, and then reboot it with a brand new team sometime in the future. But yeah, it was fun playing that over again.
Okay. Now, I had that game, and I'm not gonna even lie to you, man. I started off the first stage and lost all interest within probably 10 minutes of playing it. Like literally, like I don't want nothing to do with this. It was, I don't know, I didn't like the sounds. I don't know. It just turned me off real quick. And I bought it for my son, and I noticed he didn't like it for some reason. He would sit down and he would play it. He told me he just didn't like it. And so I ended up trading it in.
Well, so you say you didn't like the sounds. The sounds were some of the things I actually liked about it, like how you had I liked how the guns sound and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't know. I that's kind of strange. You said you didn't like the sound.
Well, it wasn't necessarily sounds of the entire game. I guess it was the guns. Like I felt like the guns were kind of the phasers or whatever type of weapon that was that you start off with. It just had a cheapness to it to me. But
I hate the Promethean weapons with a passion. I can't stand. I wish that never was introduced in Halo. I can't stand them. I don't like their weapons. I don't like them. I just hate them. The coveted weapons don't sound. They sound kind of hokey. I'll agree with that. But the Marine weapons, their stuff sounds. Machine guns sound like machine guns to me. It sounds pretty good.
I never got that far, to be honest with you. I never got a chance to really hear everything I heard was like lasers and phaser type guns. So it wasn't actually any machine guns that not that I remember anyway. So anything else?
No, I haven't really been playing too much. I've been busy doing other stuff. So
okay, what's up, actors?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Welcome to the Live and Level Gamers podcast.
What's up, man?
Yo.
So just ask D2K what he been gaming on since you just jumped in, man. What you been gaming on?
I picked up that Kirby Star Allies. I played through that. It's pretty good. I just got this Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I got to play through that now.
Are you just not getting that?
Well, I had it before, but I never finished it. Then I remember they're getting that Donkey Kong DLC, so I'm not going to finish the game and then wait for the DLC to come out.
Right.
And playing through Uncharted Lost Legacy again, because that game's awesome. So, yeah, that's about it right now.
Okay. Well, since everybody's been quick, what have I played this week? I went out and I bought the Lego. They had like a sale at Best Buy on the Lego games for all the systems. So I went out and bought Lego Ninjago. And I also bought Lego Marvel Heroes 2. This is a way for my daughter and I can get gaming, and she's like a gamer in my house now. She learning how to play, and I figured I'd get something that we can co-op with and bond with my daughter in gaming. So we started out with the Ninjago. I didn't even think she would know anything about it. She knew everything about it. I didn't know about these characters. So she all giddy and losing it because she's like, we got Ninjago. I watched this all on Netflix, and she knew all the characters' names, and she wanted the girl character, and I don't know none of these characters' names. I didn't know what was going on. She knew the villain. She knew everything, man.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool. So anyway, I played that. Haven't played the Marvel Heroes 2 yet. I downloaded a while ago Fortnite, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. Played it. Had no clue of what I was doing. I started off solo because I didn't know you had to change the setting to work with a group. So I get out there active in D2K. I get out there with a pickaxe or whatever it was you start out with. And I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm supposed to be executing, whatever. So I'm just running through this land. And I noticed that it's kind of glitchy, but I noticed that I guess I was outside of the parameters that I was supposed to be in. And, I guess the farther out you are, the more glitchy it is. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it seemed like the closer I got to the parameter that we're supposed to be in, that circle, that white, where it's outlined in the circle, everything ran more smooth. So I got there, got shot as soon as I got in there. I don't know. I'm no good at it, man. So I've been talking to one of my boys, King Cooper. He said the same thing. He didn't really know what he was supposed to do in it, so he kind of put it down too. So if anybody, so we're gonna talk about the game. I don't know if you played it active or D2K. I don't know if any one of y'all played that game yet.
I played it once with Nia. It's pretty cool. We played for like an hour or so.
Okay. So
yeah, I can see the appeal of these battle royal games.
All right. So when we get to talking about it, man, I would love you to get your input because, like I said, my first experience with it was yesterday, and it wasn't good. It was horrible. So anyway, moving on. I played. What else did I play this week? I played a little Mario Kart, if I'm not mistaken.
Of course.
And I think that's about it. I don't think I played anything else. Did I download anything? No, that's it. That's all I played. I plan on getting that Bad Cops. That's in the eShop, and I also plan on getting this other game in the eShop and beat them up. So yeah, man, that's been about it for me on the gaming side.
Well, before we get started, I just wanted to say one thing. What's your thoughts about the whole Toys R Us debacle?
Man, let Active go first if you want to give your thought.
Yeah, like I actually Toys R Us was actually my first job. So to me, it's very sad because like I grew up as a Toys R Us kid, of course. I think most of us probably grew up as Toys R Us kids, and just to think like eventually when I have a child, my kid will grow up and they'll never know Toys R Us. That's deeply saddening to me. But it's a bad situation. They did a lot of bad business deals. I worked there for 4 years. I know how slowly they reacted to things, and it got worse over time, especially when online shopping became the norm with Amazon and whatnot. So they made a lot of choices that were bad, and now they're paying for it and they're shutting everything down. And it sucks because like they were the last dedicated standalone toy store. So yeah, it's just sad to see, as because I'll always be a Toys R Us kid at heart, you know.
Right. I'm echo what you said, man. I used to work at Blockbuster, and the same patterns that you described with Toys R Us, adapting too late, being reactive, not proactive.
Yeah,
kind of what took them out. Like when what was it? Netflix came on the scene.
they didn't take it seriously.
They didn't take it serious, and then you had other companies like Family Video and others moving in. And Blockbuster thought that their name was too big to fail, and they didn't have to worry about that trend. It would never catch on. And then Netflix caught on, and then all the other ones started coming. Then Redbox came, and then next thing you know, they reacting, trying to catch up and trying to adapt. So they started kind of adding, and this one we knew it was going down. Blockbuster really was only a video renting place, and you can buy movies there. Dude, we started selling records, DVD players. Yeah. We started selling all kind of stuff that didn't really pertain to what we really. I mean, the DVD players were, but we never sold that for the first 4 years I was there. So
yeah, you can see that now with GameStop. Half of GameStop stuff is toys now.
Cause that's the signs.
They're
so
next.
What happened was Viacom, right after I left, Viacom dropped Blockbuster. And then once Viacom dropped them, once they didn't have that backing of Viacom, it was downhill. It was murder, she wrote, from that point on. It was a done deal. It was just they was trying to find someone to pick them up. Nobody would buy them out, and they cash ran out, and they had to close all the stores. So I think it might be a few Blockbusters open around here, if I'm not mistaken, but maybe one or two, not many. Interesting you brought up Toys R Us. I was in there yesterday. I bought my girl a toy. But I went in there to see how much the pros were, because they was having 10% off on their hardware, and all that was gone. They had one Xbox One left, well, a few Xbox Ones left, and a few Switches left. All the PlayStation stuff was gone. The 4s, the Pros, all that was gone.
That's it though, only 10%? That seems pretty low.
Yeah, it was only 10% on the hardware. Everything else was like 40 and 50 and 60. But the hardware was just 10%. So it's sad. I'm gonna be honest, I never really had a real connection with Toys R Us. When we got one here, I was older by that time, so it really didn't. I mean, I bought my stuff from Walmart or GameStop, or at that time Babbage's and other spots like that. But I didn't really frequent Toys R Us a whole lot. So
I'll be honest.
Like every week was Toys R Us week. We go there every week to the mall. My mom would take me and my sister. We just go run around the store, just pick out toys and play with them. It's like a weekly thing. So to me, like Toys R Us was like a huge part of my childhood.
No, it was a commercial for me.
Well, yeah, me too, because we only had like 2 Toys R Us's in the city where I live, and you know they were not easy to get to. So going to Toys R Us would have been like going to the Super Bowl. Might as well have been like, because it was that rare to be able to go to Toys R Us. And I didn't even really go to Toys R Us until I became a teenager. But my child memories were mostly for KB toys, because those were a lot more accessible. And I remember, you know, for my birthday every year, my grandfather would give me $25, and I'll always get to go to KB Toys and buy whatever I wanted from there. But then they closed down in 2009 after Toys R Us bought them out. Toys R Us bought out FAO Schwartz, which was toy chain that was mostly on the East Coast. So I mean, I just think about all the toy stores, dedicated toy stores that were there when I was a kid, and now they're gone. And, you know, you talk about Blockbuster, they're gone. And, you know, GameStop it's not too far away. It's in your future. You know, if these keep trending the way that they are.
GameStop's in a very, like, tricky situation, because, like, every year that passes by, digital's getting more popular. Less people are buying physical, less people trading in their games, and that's basically their main revenue stream. So that's why you see them selling shirts and toys and all these collectibles and shit now, because like they need to find a way to circumvent that income because they're losing a lot now.
And that's why they have, you know, Terry Tate, the office linebacker, tackle you as soon as you come through the door, trying to get to reserve something. Like, it's ridiculous how they try to get you to reserve things. Like, leave me alone. I just want to buy this one game and go home.
Yeah, I heard it's worse for you guys because I'm in Canada, so we don't have GameStop here. It's EB Games, but that's owned by GameStop. It's technically the same company, but they're not nearly as aggressive with the pre-orders and stuff. I heard it's really bad out there at GameStop.
You know, I worked for EB Games, and then when GameStop bought them out, they closed that location and they shipped me over to a GameStop. So I know firsthand what it's like, what we have to do. We're basically lying for a living. That's basically what we're doing. I'm not even. I mean, and that's what it's like a used car lot. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. You're lying to your customers in order to get them to spend money that they don't have or they never intended to spend for stuff that they don't need.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even go into GameStop. I don't do no business with GameStop at all, man. If I can't get it from Best Buy or Target or Toys R Us back at before they close them down now, or Walmart, then I will go to GameStop. But it's very seldom that I walk into a GameStop, man. I refuse to give them my money. I really do. I hate GameStop.
Damn.
I do. Because this is why, man. The last time I went to GameStop, it was for the Wii U. I went in there to buy Assassin's Creed 3. And they didn't have any more, right?
So they saved you, is what you're saying.
Huh?
Saved you from playing a bad game.
No, they didn't have any. They had a box on the shelf, and I was like, "Are you out of the Assassin's Creed?" Because there was none there, and he went in. So he's like, "Yeah." He went into the file cabinet and pulled out a disc in one of those cheap
that little paper thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And he put it in the case that was on the shelf and handed it to me. I'm thinking he finna give me a discount.
Yeah.
That's not what they do.
Man.
Yeah. Isn't that like the copy that the employees take home to play?
Yep. And he sold it to me for brand new.
Well, I mean, sometimes they do that, but they do any copies that they have on the shelves. They basically just take them out brand new and they put them in a little CD.
Leave them behind the counter.
Leave them behind the counter. You know, it's not just ones that get to play. It's just brand new games. Just because they don't have other markers to put out there, they put the actual games that they open a brand new game and put the shell on the shelf and put the game in a little CD thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, look, dude. Anywhere else I go, if I'm buying the display, I'm getting a display.
Exactly. You should at least get 10% discount.
She was like, well, it's technically we haven't used it. I'm like, it's not in the case, but I was so hungry for a new game, I went on and bought it. But I was like, you know what? I ain't coming back here, not now, another time. And I haven't bought nothing from them really since. So every now and again, I go in there if they got some sales going on or a used game, I go through that. But for the most part, I don't go into GameStop. But anyway, let's get into this first topic, man. So I don't know, D2K active, if y'all been hearing about this whole rumor about a supposed Switch revision.
Yeah,
I heard about it.
With 8 gigabytes of RAM, and
I don't think it's possible to look on YouTube without seeing a video about it.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. First of all, the question I want to ask: do you think that this rumor is true? I throw it at D2K first, and then I come to you, active, and you know, do you think it's true, D2K, that is a revision on the way from the Switch?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question because this is a portable console. Nintendo has always made revisions to their portable consoles going all the way back to the original Game Boy. So the fact that the Switch is going to get a revision is not a question of if, but when. Yeah. It's going to happen at some point. The fact of the matter is that there's no reason for them to make a revision right now at all because the Switch is selling like hotcakes and there's nothing that's not competing against anything else, and there's no pressure from Microsoft and Sony for them to do anything. So there's no reason for them to even invest their time and money in something like that right now. But this whole thing is basically stemming off the fact that apparently Nintendo has created a more powerful dev kit for developers to use that uses 8 gigabytes of RAM. And one of the things that people may not know or maybe forgot is that companies upgrade their dev kits all the time. Nintendo does it, Microsoft does it, Sony does it. It makes things a lot more easier for developers to make their games because it's a lot easier to make games bigger and trim them down versus making a game that's smaller and then trying to build it up because you got more room or more power to work with. So the fact that they made a more powerful dev kit for developers to use is not a sign there's an imminent revision coming to the Switch for 8 gigabytes of RAM, because quite honestly, that really wouldn't do much for it. I mean, it will allow games to run a little bit faster. It will allow assets in the scene to load quicker, so you wouldn't have as much obvious pop-up. Like when you right next to something, you see it pop up right in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
The draw distance would be better with more memory and stuff like that. But if you're going to do a revision, it wouldn't make sense to do it now. It would make sense to wait until after you see what Microsoft and Sony are going to do and then say, okay, this is where we need to go for our next revision for the Switch, versus making a revision now and then they come out with something that looks like Godzilla and you have to make another revision again to make the Switch not seem like it's so far behind. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I guess that's what I'm asking. Do you think, like, I know a revision is coming eventually. That I guess the question is, do you believe it's coming as soon as like either later this year or next year?
No.
Okay, go ahead, Active. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the rumor thing, I think they are actually changing something in the Switch, but I don't think it's actually like the RAM or anything like that. It's basically they're trying to make the Switch unhackable by upgrading the Tegra chip, because the Tegra X1 has an exploit. It's always had it, but now people are finding it out on the Switch. So they're changing the chip and kind of making it quote unquote unhackable, if that's even a thing. But like that's basically what it is, right? They're just trying to close out the hackers. It's not going to make your Switch any more powerful, any of that stuff. And the whole 8 gigs of RAM thing, that might be true for the dev kit, but I don't think we're going to get a Switch with 8 gigs anytime soon. It's just like you were saying, how when they develop games, they need more RAM just because it's easier to make the game and then condense it later. I think that's all this is. And people are kind of just hoping that it's something new this quickly. I don't know why you would want another Switch this quickly, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Let me just say that. It's mainly just to keep hackers out of the Switch so they don't have another homebrew situation like on 3DS.
Exactly. Like the Wii U, the dev kit for the Wii U actually had 3 gigabytes of RAM rather than 2.
It always has more than the actual unit.
Right.
That's normal.
So yeah, I'm in agreement, man. I don't see the urgency nor the need to move up just yet, because
it's actually making a new one this fast would cause more harm than good.
Right, because you're gonna make the people who currently own it upset.
Exactly.
Because I know I'm gonna be upset.
This
you
quickly,
come out with new Switch, and I ain't had this thing a good year. You already got a revision.
Yeah, it's too quick. Like even with the 3DS, we get some sort of revision every 2 years, but that thing's only $200. This thing's $300. So you can't be passing out revisions that quickly on a device that expensive.
Well, with the 3DS, they really had to act fast because they had such a terrible launch. They had to do a revision quickly with that. That was an anomaly. But normally, like you said, it's usually 2 years, 2.5 year intervals between revisions and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of the norm for handhelds. Roughly 3 years, something like that. You'll get a slightly more powerful one. Like they've done it several times with the 3DS this gen, but like the Switch with a new version, 8 gigs of RAM, like 2 years in, I don't see it. I think it's too soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had to mute the mic. My family is coming into my studio now.
I'm looking at your. Is that a fusion cannon you have on your arm, Actives?
Yeah, it's Megatron's cannon.
And he got the what's that? The
Master Sword.
The Master Sword in your hand. But yeah, man.
Megatron must be stopped.
Yeah, I think that'll be a dumb,
no matter the cost.
I think that'll be a dumb move if they did that though. But let's move on, man. Let's keep this thing going. I know we all know a Switch revision is coming, but it better be 2019 before they start trying to release it. I know that's what they best do. It better not come before 2019.
Yeah, there's no need. There's the fastest selling console in history. So why would they even bother?
Right. So anyway, let me ask you, do you think we will? Nah, Nintendo won't do that. Ain't no point even asking that.
What was you gonna say?
Do you think they will hint at it like at E3 or sometime this year?
No, they'll probably. It depends on what Microsoft and Sony do. If they come out and say something about if Sony says something about PlayStation 5, which they won't, but if they did, then Nintendo will probably say, "Yeah, that's nice," and look what we got here. You know, like I said, they're not going to do anything unless somebody else jumps in people, and you see a huge reaction from the gaming community, like, "Wow, did you see that PlayStation 5? Or did you see that new Xbox? Oh!" Then Nintendo said, "Okay, we got to stay relevant," because Nintendo has done a good job so far of counter punching with the Switch.
Yeah.
So I think they're not going to get hit with something and not come with something back.
And like, to be fair, like, even if Sony announces the PS5 tomorrow, we all know what it's going to be. It's going to be a stronger PS4. It still doesn't really compete directly with what the Switch offers. We're probably not going to see a PS Vita 2. That's probably not happening. So even if we do see an Xbox 2 and a PS5, does Nintendo even really care?
Well, they care because there's people that are gamers that are looking at something besides their console. Even though the Switch is in its own space, it's still a video game console. And it's all about, and hype means a lot when you're selling your product to consumers.
Which we learned with the PS4, definitely.
Well, the Switch as well, because a lot of the Switch is a lot, and that it works to your favor. Hype, positive hype or negative hype can be the make or break of your console. So, so even if the quality isn't there, the hype can keep something going, or the hype can make, or if the quality is there, but if it's got a negative connotation to it, it can ruin you. So that's the reason why they can't.
It's more powerful than reality.
Exactly.
I would say this, man. When it comes to the PlayStation 4, both systems were hyped, but PlayStation 4 was showing stuff that we didn't get for that thing until 3 years later.
Yeah,
it sold off a hype. Like, dude, you ain't seen that. We didn't see Uncharted and some of the stuff that they hyped up for that system. We still haven't seen. So, I'm with you though, D2K, and hype does sell, and both of them did have its fair share of hype though. And Nintendo with the Switch being this successful, I don't see a point in disrupting that. You ride that wave for a little bit until it makes sense to bring another.
Like even with Sony, like, do they really need to bring out a PS5 right now? Like,
no, they don't even need to. The only company that needs to make a move is Microsoft.
Microsoft, yeah. They are having a rough go at it this gen.
But dude, why do you think so?
Well, like they didn't invest in first party studios. They don't have a way to differentiate themselves from Sony. Sony has the same multi-plat. Sony had the more powerful console for 90% of this gen. Like, they never stood a chance.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Sony has something that is unique for them. Nintendo has something that's unique for them. Microsoft ruined what was unique with them.
Yeah.
They ruined Halo. They ruined, well, I would say they ruined Gears, but Gears kind of got watered down, and they like you said, they got rid of all these first party studios, and they got people hyped up for new stuff, and then they canceled it, like Scalebound, and it's stuff like it just
and like Fable, and it's like
exactly Fable Legend. They canceled that, so there's nothing about the Xbox that you say I must play this for this game. Yeah. There's nothing there.
It's sad to see, because like the 360 is, I think, my second favorite console, because SNES can never be surpassed. But the 360 was fantastic, and then to go over to the Xbox One, you see like it's such a huge decline for them, even just in quality. It's a huge decline in their games.
I would beg to differ with that SNES comment, but that's another conversation.
Let me ask this: do you feel like to play anywhere help contribute to the hurting of the actual Xbox itself?
I'll put it to you this way: like, if I game on PC, I'm not gonna buy an Xbox because the games aren't intriguing. But if you put those games onto PC, at least there's a chance that you'll try the game, right?
Right.
Because if you play on PC, you're not generally interested in console because they're just weaker PCs, and if they don't have interesting exclusives, then you're not even gonna look at the console. So I think Play Anywhere is a very smart move from Microsoft, especially with this Game Pass. That's awesome.
I like that.
Game Pass is really cool.
That's one of the best things they've done in the recent years is Game Pass.
Yeah, everything outside of their first-party games, they're killing it. They're the best when it comes to services. They're the most consumer-friendly company now. They weren't at the beginning, but they're the most consumer-friendly company. They offer a lot of ways to play their games. And they give you a good deal, like $10 a month, and you have access to over 100 games. Like, they're doing a lot of things right. It's just their first-party games suck.
What little they actually have there.
Yeah.
and that was their strength back on the 360. Their first-party games was pretty legit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you look at last year, and they had so many amazing first-party games, and they had a lot of second-party, third-party exclusive deals, and all of that is missing this gen. That's been their biggest problem this generation. It was never about power. I don't know why they were so obsessed with power this gen, but
they're just grasping. They're just grasping at straws. They don't know what to do.
Man. The Xbox One X actually tied up their money for 3 years. That's why they've been like lacking on the first party stuff because all their money was tied up in the same console, just a little more powerful. That was a mistake.
And it's really nothing. I mean, I'm getting out of it. The only thing that I've seen cool that I've actually played on the Xbox One X that was cool was the ability to play Gears of War 3 in better graphics.
Right,
because it looks sick on the Xbox One X.
Yeah, those I gotta games look really good now.
Yes, they do. That's the only thing about the Xbox One X I can say, okay, this is worth having this for.
Okay, so let's move on, man. Speaking of first-party titles, so did y'all get a chance to check out the leak of that long leak of God of War 4 footage?
Jesus, my God Almighty, that game is going to be incredible.
Now, so starting with you, Active. Now, I've seen that leak, and I've also watched other people who had an opportunity to have hands-on with the game.
Yeah,
now, it seems to be generating pretty much positivity across the board, but there is some, I guess, some mixed feelings with some of them about it. But what did you? To me, that leak basically sealed it for me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So what's your thoughts on it?
I was like with everyone else, I was a little worried because they're changing the game so much, right? The angle's different, the fighting style's different, you can't jump anymore. But then when you see it in action, it's like this game looks so cool. Like the combat is a lot more, I don't know how to, well, it's a lot more visceral, a lot more intense. It's a lot more up close and personal. It's not just random slashing anymore. Because like, I like Bayonetta, I like Devil May Cry. That combat system shits on what God of War was doing before. So I'm glad they changed it up, and I think they did the right move by making Kratos a little bit older. I kind of liken it to Triple H. I don't know if you guys watch wrestling or anything, but Triple H, the way he wrestles now. He wrestles very differently than when he was younger. Triple H used to be a lot faster. Same with The Rock. The Rock does more power moves now. He used to be a lot quicker. And that's kind of like Kratos now. He does less moves, but you can see that how powerful they are. They inflict a lot more damage. It just seems very cool. I like it.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Kind of funny that you mentioned Triple H because he actually kind of looks like him now with that beard.
With the beard, yeah. That's why I think of Triple H when I see God of War. So that's how it clicks in my head. But the kid's a little annoying. He does talk a lot during the fighting. But I do like that you can kind of control the kid and tell him when to attack. So that's pretty cool.
Now, is there chances that you can actually accidentally hit him?
I don't think so.
Because it was one scene where Kratos told him like to be smart with his attacks because he's attacking too or something like that.
Right. Maybe you can hit him, but I don't think they're gonna do that.
Okay. Well, what I do like about it, before I throw it to you, D2K, what you were saying, Active, about the change in the way that Kratos attacks and fights. someone I was listening to put it like this. They was like, in the older God of Wars, you felt like you were just fighting rag dolls. You really wasn't really focusing on anybody, because Kratos will swing that, the blades of Olympus. I think that's what they call it, right? No, the
chains of Olympus.
Chains of Olympus, and it just hit anything within circumference of them chains. It didn't.
Yeah, there's no one-to-one feel with the enemy.
No, so in this one, it seemed like it's way more intentional, way more personal.
Yeah.
Way more one-on-one, where you literally have to target this person, target that person. You can't just swing and hack and slash your way through a stage. So, but it also put me in the mind, I keep saying this, man, of Rise, Son of Rome.
I was just thinking that.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking that because I'm actually watching it now. I didn't get a chance to watch this video before, so I'm watching it right now, and I'm watching this gameplay. I'm like, man, this reminds me of Rise, Son of Rome. It's almost exactly the same in a good way. Obviously, this is much better, but the gameplay, the combat style is very similar to that, where it's like one-to-one combat. It's like, I'm gonna zero in on this one guy, I'm gonna beat the crap out of him, and then move to the next guy. Versus just randomly swinging all over the place and, knocking everything. I mean, that's cool and everything, and that's part of the mystique of God of War. But I think that this change of pace is not too far of a diversion from it to where people say this is a completely different game. I don't like it. It's not God of War. It isn't, but it is. Right. Because it still has that same, I'm not sure how to put it, but it has that same feel of being grandiose type fighting, even though it's streamlined more.
Yeah. Another thing that's cool is like the enemies seem like they deal a lot more damage to you, because we've never seen really Kratos have to use a shield and dodge a lot. You kind of just plow through enemies, but each enemy here seems like they can like legitimately kill Kratos, which is pretty cool.
I think what they said was, well, one person I listened to say either Kratos is actually weaker than the Kratos of the older games, are the enemies are way more powerful than the enemies that was in Kratos. What's the word I'm looking for? Indigenous storyline, I guess, or area.
Yeah, and the Greek mythology. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: do you fear, because all Sony games do this? They look good. They look astounding. I mean, what game has Sony made in the last? From the PlayStation 3 to now that don't blow you away visually?
Right.
Do you feel that it's going to suffer from some of it? And I wish K-Bun was here for this, because he feel like I'm throwing shade, but I got to put it out here. Do you fear that God of War 4 will suffer from the same problems that The Last of Us folk suffered from and Uncharted 4? And I think even I hear that Horizon Zero Dawn did as well, whereas it's graphically impressive, it's fun, but then it get real ultra repetitive towards the end, middle to the end, to where you only plan to continue to find out what the story is, not because the game is still wowing you.
Mm. So, like, the combat will get repetitive and boring, you kind of mean?
Yeah.
I think that's possible, because there's only so many moves you can do. There's only so many enemies, right? But at least there is some sort of RPG element of this game. Like, you can upgrade Kratos. It seems like you can upgrade his armor, possibly his weapons. So I'm pretty sure there's a decent amount of variety. And they said this one's going to be about 25 to 30 hours long. So I'm expecting a good game.
I guess if it depends on, what their aim is, what they're actually creating the combat for this game. Because if he has all his power-ups at the beginning, then obviously it will make it boring really fast. But if he's getting stronger and he's getting different weapons and getting different abilities as the game goes on, then I'm not sure how you can get repetitive, because you'll be able to do stuff that you couldn't do earlier.
Yeah, because the reason Uncharted gets boring is because Nathan Drake doesn't evolve throughout the game.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's what I was finna, when you said that. Hold up. I got food in my mouth. What I was going to say was, you brought up a good point, Active, and D2K piggied on it. when you said that, when you brought up the fact that the character is almost on like an RPG where he get new weapons, new move sets. That is different from, I would say, Last of Us and Uncharted, because that don't happen in those games.
Yeah, they don't have that stuff.
So yeah, I didn't think about that. So
yeah, that's like the main reason why I think Rise of the Tomb Raider is better than Uncharted, because you can upgrade Laura and she has more abilities.
Yeah. Do we gotta talk about that? What you think about the new one coming out?
I can't wait. I'm a huge Rise of the Tomb Raider fan, so I'm very excited for the new one.
Let me ask this, and we can move on. Do you feel like the leak came, because it's very funny that the leak came out right after the Tomb Raider Shadow of the Tomb Raider or something like that?
Shadow of the Tomb Raider, yeah.
It's funny that leak of God of War came out right after that announcement.
Yeah, well, I think that has to do more with Sony trying to kill Sea of Thieves. To be honest, I don't think they're too worried about
really.
I don't think they're worried about a multi-plat game because it's going to come to PlayStation anyways.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because they did it. They did it the day before Sea of Thieves reviews and stuff came out.
Were they really that? You think they're really that concerned about? I'm not saying that Sea of Thieves is bad. I'm just saying that would, but.
Well, I don't think they're concerned with Microsoft. I just think they like putting Microsoft down. Sony comes for necks, man. Sony comes for neck. Phil's comes for hugs. That's the difference in this.
It's like being a rented mule. I mean, they don't need to get whooped anymore. Leave them alone.
I'm just saying, like, it just happened that they showed some leaked gameplay of a game from Sony that came out a day before Microsoft's big exclusive, their first exclusive of the year, and it just happened to come out the day before. I don't think that's a coincidence.
It's probably. I mean, that's not to say that they aren't vindictive, because we know all these companies are. So
yeah. So Sony don't want you to even look at an Xbox.
Right. Let me ask this, man, and we'll move on. Now, this game comes out April the 20th. And since you on here active, I gotta ask, because we already answered this question as far as the crew. Are you getting Labo?
Am I getting Garbo? No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Let's move on, man. So Nintendo had an indie showcase this week. Did any one of y'all catch that? I'm pretty sure you did.
I watched it.
Did you catch the D2?
Yeah, I watched it just before we went on. I was talking about it a little bit, but when you stepped out.
Okay. What were some of the games that stood out to you?
Well, the first the first 4 or so games that I saw were the ones I thought were the most interesting. The Market and Ninja game looked interesting. They didn't show any real gameplay. They just showed like a animated cutscene.
Well, you know that game. You can look it up. It's gameplay because it's coming from.
That game's been out since 2012.
Yeah, it's been out.
So I never heard of it before until now. Looking at that as it looks, so I might have to go try to find that game because it looks interesting. I like ninja games.
Yeah.
Fantasy Strike looked pretty good.
And you can find footage for that because I think that's a Steam game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, most of these games are already on Steam.
Yeah. Just Shapes and Beats. Looks like a nice time waster type game. Nightfall looked really awesome. I like those atmospheric ambiance type games, kind of like what is it, Limbo? So it's sort of like that. You know, the graphics look really nice. That's something that would be interesting to me. Everything else is kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, and I'm gonna throw it over to you, Active. I'm in agreement with D2. The first 3 to 4 games. The first 3 to 4 games, and it was this other ninja game that they showed that you can switch between like a more pixelated.
The Messenger.
Yeah, that game stood out to me too. But everything at the start of the showcase really caught my attention. I liked Markham Ninja, but when I went and looked at the game, I was like, oh, I know what this game is. And it's a cool game, but the fighting game really caught my attention. I definitely be getting what is it?
Fantasy Strike.
Fantasy Strike. I definitely be picking that up. when it comes out this summer. But then towards the middle to end, it just kind of, I don't know, it just fizzled out for me. I don't know. I'm kind of like with you, D2K. It ain't that I lost interest. It's just nothing was interesting me. So
right.
But go ahead, Active.
Yeah, I watched the show. I was streaming it with Coupon. Like, it was okay. I felt like they could have made it a little longer and put some more games in. Because, like, what was weird was after the show on Twitter, they were announcing other indie games that are coming to Switch, and they were like better games that were in the show.
Yeah.
Like they announced Hyper Light Drifter. That's a very high-profile indie game and one that a lot of people on the Switch have been asking for. But during a Nintendo Indie Showcase, it's nowhere to be found.
What about that other racing game? Was called Brick or
Grip or Grid
Grid,
or something like that? Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like more. I guess more high-profile looking games.
Yeah, because that game looked really cool.
Yeah, that's why I think the first 3 minutes impressed me was because they showed some pretty high profile titles, and then it kind of went to the the traditional.
And you got some like smaller games like Code. Yeah, like I thought Mark of the Ninja Remastered is awesome. I have the first one on Steam. I guess it's unremastered, but like that game is really fun. So I would suggest picking that one up. It's a stealth game, so if you would have to like stealth.
Mark of the Ninja.
Yeah, that's a stealth.
Yeah, it's a stealth game. Yeah.
They showed Banner Saga 3. Apparently, we're getting all 3. I've never played any of them, so I don't even know what the gameplay is like. So, I wasn't too excited about that. But the Messenger, that one looked cool. It reminds me of Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, I'm getting that. I'm definitely getting that.
That one's a cool one. You could switch between 8-bit and 16-bit. That's pretty interesting. And Lightfall, I like that one because it reminds me of Ori and the Blind Forest for some reason. So like that game looks really cool to me. And Bomb Chicken, that game just because it's so stupid, I have to play it. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, that was when the train jumped the tracks for me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like I don't know the rest of them.
Say it again, D2K. That's when the train jumped the track.
Yeah, that's what. That's.
It was a lot of really niche games. I don't know what, because like the last Indie Direct, we saw really cool stuff. We saw like Golf Story and a bunch of other exclusive indie games, like ones that weren't just ports. I think that had a way better impact.
The last Indies showcase was a lot better.
Yeah, the last Indie Showcase, the one from last year, that one was excellent. This one, I think they dropped the ball. I think they could have made it another 5-10 minutes longer, put some more games in, it would have been better.
Yeah, I agree. Ain't no other way to put it. What you think about this before we move to this next topic? What did you think about the announcement that they just made today with Ark? What's the name of that game? It was at GMC or
GDC.
Yeah, the Ark something game. Ark.
Ark Survival.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Okay. When people ask me about this, I come off very negative, and I don't mean to be negative that the game is coming to the Switch. I just don't trust those developers because they lie a lot. These are the same guys that still to this day can't get this game running on PC. They said the PS4 Pro is stronger than a GTX 1070. They say wild stuff, so I just don't believe them when they say they're going to get this game on the Switch and have it running properly. I refuse to believe that.
when y'all get a chance, look up this 9 Monkeys of Shaolin.
That's another one. That game looks awesome.
Man, this looked freaking amazing.
And they announced that right after the show.
Oh, they did? They didn't put
That's what I'm saying. They announced like 4 or 5 awesome games after the show.
Dude, this looks.
I'm wondering if there's some type of like do they have to pay to get on the Indies showcase and other companies are like
show lower profile games so they have a chance to sell on the platform.
And I think Nintendo has an idea of what they be trying to look for those retro looking titles.
Yeah, because those sell the best.
Yeah. And it's
like they put out a list of the top 10 best-selling indie games, and they're all like retro-style games.
Okay, man, this game looks ridiculous, man.
I know it looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm looking at it now. This is
And it's 2-player.
Yeah, it gives me like a Turtles in Time kind of feel.
Right, yeah, I'll be getting that. But anyway, yeah, I can't believe Nintendo didn't put that in there.
Yeah, that and Hyper Light Drifter would have made the show a lot better.
Well, I guess what really matters, the only thing that matters is that it's coming, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's still coming, and those both are coming soon, so that's all that matters.
Right. So let's keep this thing going, man. So this has been a and active. Actually, it's crazy that you in this podcast because it was your video that I watched that sparked this thought.
Oh, really?
Sparked this topic. So and I know why they claim they aren't doing it, but I want to go further than that. So starting with you, active, kind of restate what you stated in your video of why you feel like the way out developers is not bringing it to the Switch.
So their reason for not bringing the game out is because you would have to buy a second Pro controller to actually experience the game, which makes no sense because none of the consoles come with 2 controllers, so you'd have to buy a second controller on the other ones as well.
Who was the developer that said that the Switch didn't have enough buttons? Which one was that?
That was the Lawbreakers guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So yeah, that was their kind of half-assed excuse. The first couple things they said make sense. They're like, we have been developing this game for years. We've been making this for 3 or 4 years, so we can't get it on the Switch right away. That makes sense. That's just the way it is. That's just bad timing. And then they start talking about it makes no sense on the Switch because you have to buy a second controller. And to me, so far that might be the dumbest excuse other than the Lawbreakers one with the lack of buttons. But like, that's just wild to me because like you're playing the game online anyway, so you're gonna have 2 people with a Switch regardless, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why didn't they just keep it with, oh, we've been making this game for years, so we don't have time to put it to the Switch? At least people can understand that.
That's why I'm asking. I'm gonna throw it to you, D2K. That's why I'm asking. Like, the excuse that they gave is so nonsensical. You know that can't really be the reason. So, but D2K, go ahead and speculate, man. What you think the real cause or culprit is?
I think the reason is that because they've invested a lot of money into this game and they don't feel like they're going to make it back on the Switch. So instead of just coming out and saying that we don't think it's going to sell on the Switch, or we know it's not going to sell enough for us to get a return on our investment, we're not going to do it. I guess that's one of the when you look at reasons why companies don't bring their games to Nintendo consoles, that's usually an underlying reason why. It's not about power. It's not about, configurations of the hardware or a gimmicky controller or anything like that. It's because they don't want to make it. They're not going to make any money. That's pretty much what it is. It's not going to make any money. That's the bottom line, is making money. And if they don't make money, they're not going to bring the game. I just wish that people would just be honest, because there's nothing wrong with saying that, because it's the truth. If you look at the actual sales of third-party games on the Switch, the best-selling third-party game the best-selling third-party games are featuring Nintendo characters. Games that are built from scratch, that have been ported over to the Switch, are not doing very well. It's just that, and it's not a surprise. It's been this way for 30 freaking years. Okay? If you're not Capcom, if you're not Square Enix, if you're not Ubisoft, you don't make money on Nintendo consoles. And these third parties know that. And that's the reason why they want Nintendo to produce or publish the games, so they can get their money up front. So it doesn't matter if the game doesn't make a lot of money, because they already got paid. So if Nintendo went to them and say, okay, we'll pay for it. Oh yeah, we can get way out on the Switch. It'll be there next week.
I was thinking that it possibly could be that Sony, or I would say Sony more so than Microsoft, probably has some money invested already, that in maybe an unspoken agreement, they not going to bring it to the Switch.
There's no, they wouldn't waste the time with that.
I've been hearing that they've been doing that, like a lot.
Well, they definitely did that with Monster Hunter, but I don't think they bothered with this game.
Okay. See, Monster Hunter's not on the Xbox. system? I
It
thought
is.
it was. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's
there. Nobody buys it there, but it's there.
Okay.
I think
But
it's
go
more
ahead,
to do with EA because EA is publishing this game, are they not?
Yeah, EA is. Yeah, I forgot.
EA is not friendly with Nintendo right now. They even said they're going to wait another year before they even consider the Switch. So
yeah, but EA is the biggest money grubbing company on planet Earth. So if any company is going to use money as their bottom issue, bottom line, it's them.
Yeah, but like even that doesn't make sense because like FIFA sold well.
Nah, it sold okay. I was looking at it the other day. I was going down a whole list of Switch games, trying to see which third-party games are selling well. And
I think the best-selling third-party game right now is Skyrim.
No, it's no. It's well. I mean, if you call Rabbids a third-party game, because
that has Mario in it. I don't call that a third-party game.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is that it is a third-party because developed by Ubisoft, but the fact the best-selling third-party games on the Switch have Nintendo characters running around. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's natural. That's gonna happen. That's probably basically the only reason Sonic's still alive is Sonic in the Olympics.
Yeah.
What y'all think about this new Sonic Mania?
Oh man, that shit is so cool. I wish I didn't buy this game digitally.
I hope they give us some type of.
It's Sega. They're not gonna give you a deal.
Man, but dude, how do you release Sonic Mania like that and then come out with a new?
They are the worst, man. These guys are the worst. They brought out a digital version. They brought out a collector's edition that was still digital. They waited a year, and now they're bringing out the physical version. These guys are trying to get you to triple dip.
Right. I don't know, man. They ain't gonna get me like Capcom. I stopped letting Capcom do me like that with their titles. I definitely ain't finna do it. So if they ain't giving me no
it's actually a good collection though. Like you get a nice little art book, you get some bonus content. I think it's only $10 more than the digital one, so that's not bad. It's not bad. It's just
it's not bad, but I don't want no art book. I'm cool with Sonic. But yeah, man, that was pretty cool announcement. So let's move on, man, to this last topic. And I'll start with you, D2K. Is Fortnite the new gaming phenomenon? What I mean, like, is I'm looking at how fast the attachment rate is growing for this game. The fact that it's moved over to mobile devices, hinted at the possibility that it will probably even come to the Switch. It is outpacing now PUBG. Is this the new Pokemon Go? Is this a new phenomenon in gaming?
I have no idea. I have no idea what this game is. I've never played it. I've heard of it, but I've never played it. I just looked at it just now, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, this game, I don't get it. I don't even know what's going on. I can't even. I see tractors and I see guns. I don't know what's going on. There's a wall with nails, spice coming out of it. I don't know what this game is, and sometimes things that are over the top ridiculous get over. Just case in point, I'm a huge. You guys know I'm a huge wrestling fan, and the Matt Hardy has this gimmick called the broken Matt Hardy gimmick, or yes. Woken Matt Hardy gimmick.
Woken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, and he started this gimmick when he was still in part of TNA, and it got over like gangbusters over there. I mean, everybody in the wrestling community was talking about it. It was all anybody could talk about. And he comes over to WWE, and you figured out, it's really going to blow up now. But because of some legal issues, he couldn't really use the gimmick up until about maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So now he's full blown with the character. He can do everything. He owns the rights to the character completely now. And they just had the Ultimate Deletion movie that happened at the end of Raw. And I'm watching this and I'm like, this is what people were talking about. It just, but there's people out there who said, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. this same thing could happen with this game. It could just really get over. It could be a big, huge flash in the pan and then be gone tomorrow. It could be have some legs like Overwatch. You know, who knows? I have no idea.
Active, go ahead, man.
Yeah, Fortnite's here to stay. I think his name is Ninja, something like that. The biggest streamer on Twitch. He had like 500,000 people watching him play this game because Drake was playing with him.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Drake's endorsing the game. It's already overtaken PUBG as the most watched game, and I think they've outsold PUBG at this point. So like Fortnite is definitely a runaway success, and the game actually started off completely different than the way it is now. They definitely copied PUBG with the battle royale stuff, but they just did a better job of it because PUBG has been dragging their feet with updates. Their game still runs like absolute garbage on Xbox. Like in general, it's just not a good running game. But like this Fortnite team, they're made by Epic, so they have a lot more manpower. So like they've been updating the game constantly, and it runs basically really good on all the hardware. It's 60 FPS on the basic Xbox, the basic PS4, and now they put it on mobile. It runs well there too. Like they're doing a great job all around. So I can see why it's a success. I think the art style lends itself to be to reach more people and even more casual market than something like PUBG, because more people can enjoy that kind of art style. So I think they kind of hit every mark right with this game.
My thing with PUBG is, how do you sell a beta? How do you sell?
Oh yeah, and it's free to play. Yeah,
it's free to play. Fortnite is free to play.
Yeah,
PUBG is a beta that you are purchasing.
Yeah, it's a $30 early access game, and they're using that early access as an excuse for not making the game run well.
Right, and I saw so many people, man, from different podcasters, major podcasters, trying to up this game, basically trying to, I would say, persuade people to like the game, and was throwing salt at Fortnite, said it can't compare to PUBG. Now that Fortnite has surpassed it, now they hold true about it unchanged. It's like, I don't know. I don't play these type of games much. Like I said, I was gonna need you because you said you and Nia kind of got into it for a few hours. I played for about 35 minutes, and I finally figured out what it wanted me to do. But once I figured out what it wanted me to do, I kept getting killed. and you don't respawn. At least I couldn't respawn. So it's a lot of things about it that I don't understand. Like when you get killed, do you not respawn?
Huh?
When you get killed, do you not respawn?
Yeah, you respawn into a different match, not the same one.
So you got to go out to the lobby again.
Yeah, they'll put you into another game.
See, I didn't understand it. So I watched some people play for like 20 minutes. Like, when am I gonna come back into this game?
Yeah, but basically you have to wait until everyone's dead, because like the whole point is for the last man standing, right?
Okay. All right. See, I needed someone to explain it to me because the game show wasn't. But what I did do in the game was kind of cool. Like I said, I'm thankful that this is not a first-person shooter, because I definitely wouldn't have played it. But that over your shoulder,
the third-person shooter.
Yeah, I like that, man. That Gears of War, that type of view, I like that, man. So I'm gonna give it another shot.
It might come to Switch too, because they put it on mobile and it runs really well on mobile. So there really is no reason why it can't come to Switch at this point.
Yep.
Well, is this one of those games that is a heavily online component though?
It's only online.
Well, that could be the problem right there until they get their online situation straight later on. Hopefully,
if you can play this on phones through Wi-Fi, it really shouldn't be a problem.
And dude basically said that if it was to come to the Switch, which he kind of basically said they've
been hinting at it for a while now. Yeah. I would not be surprised if we see Fortnite at E3.
Yeah, it'd probably be after the update to the network and all that stuff. So
because they need some games to launch with that online network, which obviously one will be Smash, but like,
Yeah.
they can't just have Smash; they need other games too.
So, speculating on that before we get out of here, what other game do you think would come with the service? Because it's definitely got to be more than Smash. I think.
Yeah. I think Call of Duty's coming.
I was gonna say that. What do you think, D2K?
I have no idea. I would think there would probably be some third-party game. I'm not sure if it'll be Call of Duty, but I think it'll be a third-party game, a major third-party game that would justify, or that would get people's attention, so to speak. It'll be something that's normally known for its online component, and it'll be on this. Now you can say this is definitely showing that the Switch can keep up in terms of online because we got this game.
Right. I would love it to be Overwatch just because of how popular it is. And for people, I think a lot of people would enjoy mobile Overwatch. I think that'd be a huge success for them.
That would be probably that's probably our direction I would go. That would make the most sense because it's something that, it fits in with Nintendo's style, the art style.
Yeah.
And you can obviously put Nintendo characters in there as well, make it dress up even more. So that would probably be the best goal for them, I think.
What happened to Murphy's Law?
It's coming at some point.
Let me ask this though. Let me look at it. It's in the comment section. I think it's Ludwig Bond Gaming says, why are they charging $30 for a dog in a port? I'm asking because you got enough people out there gullible and itching enough to buy it.
5 million people bought that game on Xbox.
Yeah,
that's more than Gears of War sold.
5 million people bought that beta?
Yeah, they have 5 million active users on Xbox for PUBG.
That's absurd. I mean, that's $150 million in profit that they made off of this beta.
20 million plus on PC.
I don't know, Pete. It's just a sucker born every minute.
It makes sense on PC because I think on PC is free, right?
No, it's still $30.
It's still $30 on PC too.
Yeah. These guys made a lot of money. That's why, I don't give them any leeway. These guys have made over $700 million for PUBG. The game still runs like shit.
So basically, they have made money to get this game right.
Yeah, basically. And Fortnite still came out with a free game, and it runs better. And it's on multiple platforms.
That's crazy, man.
It's insane.
And that's why I be thinking some of these podcasters I follow are paid off to pump these and promote these games.
With all that money they're making, they're obviously not pumping it back into the game, so that might be true.
It gotta be, because why would you promote a broken game and then try to dump on every other game that's like it?
Like similar to it, yeah.
Well, that's pretty obvious. Either you're a fanboy of that company or that game, or you are paid off. That's the only reason I can think of that you would do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, any other topics before we get out of here?
No.
There's a new Joy-Con coming out. If you want a D-pad one.
Oh yeah, I seen that. That's from who making that?
Cool. It's from Hori.
Yeah, they don't have any rumble in it. Don't have
no rumble, no motion control. But if you just play your Switch in handheld mode, it's like $25, and you can have a D-pad. So that's pretty cool.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, I saw that earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't a bad purchase. I mean, if you want to get that traditional feel, it's actually pretty reasonable. To be honest.
You said that it's what? Wait a minute. You said it doesn't have the rumble. It doesn't have.
You have to keep it attached to the Switch. Like, you cannot use it in tabletop mode, or how you can hold the Joy-Cons in both your hands. You can't play like that.
Oh, so it's kind of like I remember when Rumble Packs first came out, there were certain Rumble Packs that didn't use batteries, but they used the power
through the controller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same idea.
What about on the grip? Would it work with the grip?
I don't know. They didn't say about that.
Yeah, if it works on the game pad, it should technically work on the grip, shouldn't it?
I don't think it has a battery though, so it probably needs the Switch to power it.
Oh,
well, I mean, the grip doesn't the grip have, or do the Joy-Cons power the grip, or does the grip power the Joy-Con?
You have to buy a different grip. The one that comes with the Switch doesn't power it.
So if you got the charging grip,
maybe that will work.
Use it.
Okay,
but actually, it still it still won't work because there's no wireless connection built into it.
Oh, that's why it don't work. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to be connected directly to the Switch because it has no wireless capability.
That's almost defeating the purpose.
That's why it's so cheap though, right? It's $25 versus what a Joy-Con's like $60, something like that.
They should have went on and added the remote connectivity and charge you $40. Still would have been a better deal than $79 and 80.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like if you accidentally step on a Joy-Con or something and you don't want to stop playing, it's something that have around the house, like, get that $20 one over there, hurry up.
Yeah, but you got to keep it connected to the Switch device itself at all times to use it.
Yeah.
You can't use it detached from the Switch itself.
Right.
So you got to play in handheld mode all the time.
It's a niche product. It's for people who want a better experience in handheld mode.
Yeah, for fighter games. Basically, for like
platformers too.
Well, does it feel? I mean, does it feel any more comfortable? I mean, is anything like? I mean, does it? Is it?
Well, I would rather have a D-pad than those 4 separate buttons.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what Nintendo was thinking with that, man.
Yeah, well, they wanted the symmetry when you're playing 2-player mode.
Yeah, but you can still do it with a D-pad, man. I don't see.
Yeah, I know.
That's Nintendo being just a little too anal for their own good.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want one person to have a slight advantage, but really, when you're playing with those tiny controllers, are you really gonna have an advantage?
No, because most of them. I mean, it ain't no advantage anyway. But that's all I got for you guys tonight, man. Y'all want to go ahead and say your final words, starting with well, I know D2K don't participate in this part, so go ahead, Active.
All right. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Active Sin here. You can follow me on Twitter at Active Sin Gaming, and YouTube. It's just Active Sin. This is a fun show. Yeah, I usually try to listen to you guys' podcast the morning after. So. Okay. Good to be on.
I appreciate you making yourself available, man. We did find ourselves in a slacking cast, so to speak. Keith had an incident take place right before he got on, so he had to go take care of that situation. And again, K-Bum had already told me early that him and his wife had some things they had to do, so he wasn't going to be available. So when you made yourself available, man, you really helped us out. So
yeah, it worked out perfectly because Real canceled his cast today because today's his birthday. So shout out to Real, happy birthday!
Yeah,
so
man, I got him on there one of these days, man. I'll come on there and chop it up with y'all.
Yeah, I'll let him know. That podcast gets pretty wild though.
Man, I've been on.
You better get ready for some swears and a whole bunch of wild shit.
Man, I used to go on Warzone with Torrance Davis and Hip Hop Gamer and.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Then.
I'll be okay. But yeah, man, I appreciate you jumping on, and always D2K family. So, but anyway, this has been the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank everybody in the comments section from Muhammad. I don't know how to say that. Is it Alvia? Is that how you say that? Alavi. Okay. Ludwig, Von Games. We had who else in here? Unforgiven up in here. We had Rowdy, Rough Kong, D2K. Well, you on the show, D2. Arfan Al. Is that how you say that? Arfan. Dark Sun Rider. A few of y'all up in here, man. I appreciate y'all, you guys, for tuning in and keeping us company. Till next time, I'm still learning how to use this phone. Technology. Curtis, thank you for tuning in. Brent Hillman, that's my boy. Thank you for tuning in. All the rest of you guys, if I didn't say your name, I appreciate y'all being in the comment section as guests, man. But till next time, keep it gaming, keep it safe. Deuces.